Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of 410 Sports Talk. I'm James Haskell, along with my co-host, Glenn Martin. Glenn, we are in the dog days of training camp.
Oof, today was hot.
The thick of it. Let me tell you what. And, of course, there's a lot of reporting going on. There's a lot of news reporting, progress by players, injuries and the like. Obviously, as little injuries to talk about, the better. But we got all the news for you, and we're excited to talk about it. So, Glenn, before we dig into all this stuff, we got to let the people know what's going on, who the show's sponsored by. Give us the update, man.
Yeah, BetOnline is this show's sponsor. They are the most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything online sports betting. Right now, you can get a 50% free bet of up to $250 on your first deposit to bet on anything from the Olympics to baseball to Formula One racing. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds after the games are being played. When the games are over, head on over to the online casino, get in the hand of blackjack, get in the hand of some poker, unwind in one of the 150 slot games. Head to the website today, get in on the action, use promo code BLEAV, BLEAV, for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online, the game starts here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Speaking of starts here, I think that we should probably start just like we kind of do with our pregame shows with injuries. I think that's an okay place to start.
Yeah.
Talk about some. Yeah, John gave us some updates today between yesterday and today. There's two that I want to mention. One, that being Tyler Linderbaum, who has some soft tissue issues and will be out, 1-2 days is what John expects, is what he mentioned. I think there's just an abundance of caution there, but I'm not overly concerned about Tyler Linderbaum. He's from Iowa, and he'll do what he's got to do to get on the field. So I'm glad he's taking it easy right now and, prepping himself, pacing himself properly. But the other one, dude, how did it just escape me? We were talking about right before the show. Tyler Linderbaum and somebody else.
Hardy?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Deontay Hardy, also soft tissue, right?
Yeah, soft tissue. Yep.
Now, he's still getting up to speed, too, as well, because, he's even though it was earlier on, like in minicamp and stuff like that, I know he missed some stuff, and hopefully all that worked out with his family. But certainly, I'm not surprised, right, that there's a little bit of
no, because he had some time off unexpectedly to deal with the family issues, and it makes sense that you're having a soft tissue injury. But it's definitely more concerning for him, a guy who's not guaranteed a spot on the roster. Tyler Linderbaum is a Pro Bowl player and a guy who he could use a couple missed practices, and in fact, it probably benefits getting another guy in there to get some reps in case there were to be an injury later on down the line. But Deontay Hardy is fighting for a roster spot, and while most people penciled him in as the returner, he still has to learn this new way of kick return. The Ravens are learning it in live action as well as the rest of the league. And it's hard to learn something new when you're not out there repping it. So I ask you, Jimbo, does this now reopen that competition door a little bit wider? Not that it's closed, but does it widen it open a little bit more?
Yeah, I found myself thinking a lot about this last night because the Hall of Fame game was on. I watched pieces of it. I wanted to see them trot out their savior, Caleb Williams or whatever. But I didn't get to see that.
Nope.
But I did. The other part I wanted to see was the kickoffs.
Yeah.
And so a few things. Yeah. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because just like you said, Deontay was the lead dog there. A lot of people penciled him in, and it's going to be such a big piece of our team in comparison. Not that it wasn't in the past, but the kickoff is just so much more dangerous now.
Mm-hmm.
Strictly, solely on the idea that it's unknown to a lot of these guys. There's going to be confusion. There's going to be mess ups and things like that. So yeah, he's got to get back and get healthy and get an opportunity to prove himself, one for himself, but also for the Ravens, because John sees this as a really important piece, and he's not going to sit around and wait, right? Like, he needs to know who his guy is and things like that. So yeah, I found myself thinking about that kickoff last night. Let me tell you what, Glenn, I mentioned this in the pregame show, man, you better not let that football hit off your body, because those guys are going to be on top of you in a matter of milliseconds, right? Like, they're right there. That first kick that went to the Bears, where the guy slid, he almost overran it, and it kind of hit him in the shoulder, and he caught it. But that could have been disastrous. So having an experienced guy back there that's got reliable hands is going to be crucial.
Yeah, it's not like the old days where you could even muff a kickoff and have time to pick it up. And maybe not get a good return, but at least not bury your team in your own territory. Now, if you muff a kick, yeah, you're severely hampering your offense and probably going to get pinned inside the 10 somewhere, depending on where the kick lands.
Yeah.
So yeah, gotta watch out there.
So I think, like you said, Glenn, the competition is open. It has to be. Like
who do you
like
look
Tylan
at?
Wallace?
Yeah, Tylan Wallace had the big return last year.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, I wish Keaton Mitchell was healthy.
Oh my goodness.
Can
I
you
wonder because they talk about how kick returners may start to take the form of running back body style over the wide receiver body style that we've seen in most recent years, because they're more used to hitting holes and reading blocks that are closer in front of them. So hey, maybe that is Keaton Mitchell's future, but
or maybe Justice Hill gets an opportunity here too.
Yeah, he's been a long time.
I haven't really been thinking about him.
Kick returner. Yeah. Why not?
He might get an opportunity as well. So who knows? Maybe we see some play with him early in preseason, them kind of experimenting a little bit. So that'll be interesting to see. Who else do you see on the list? Like, from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Zay Flowers is a guy, even though I think he'd be good at it. I don't think they have any desires of putting him back there and risking his health or really just tiring him out. You don't want to even I don't know if Tez Walker is a guy who's on the list, but typically younger guys. I mean, we remember back when Dez Bryant was out, he was one of the most dangerous return guys in the early parts of his career. So maybe that, but I don't like. Do you know of any? I don't see any DBs on this team, because a lot of times we'll even see DBs take over if they have some blazing speed, like Nate Wiggins has. But I don't see that. I think it's down to the wide receivers and running backs for this one.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's out of the question for, like you said. I think for other teams, the DBs might be a better option, but I just don't have a guy off the top of my head that like jumps out at me as a good candidate to put back there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Like
I guess
here, Ladarius Webb's not here.
I guess Brandon Stevens has the experience running the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But once again, I don't think they want to put him back there.
Yeah. No, I think it's between, like, I think you said Justice Hill, Tylan Wallace, Deontay Hardy, maybe Tez Walker. I don't know. I'm not sure. We had him on. We'll have to have him on again to find out if he's doing any kick return. But I think they need to kick the tires on. I mean, look, if you have an open competition, I think Dayton Wade might need to get a good look at it, because that dude's shifty. He can certainly run. But yeah, keep a look out on that and see kind of how that's going. But let's see if there's any. Oh, the other injury news: Bateman had a soft tissue issue. He's back. He's practicing again as well. He called it soreness. The team was being very careful, but he's back. He's good to go. So that's good news. After, I think fans were a little bit scared of like, oh no, don't tell me he's out again. But let's get into some. Now this was yesterday's injury history, right? Or was that today's? I think that was yesterday's injury report.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. More so, it was a combination maybe of the two.
Right. Because I think Deontay, he talked about today. Well, and I think he kind of talked about some guys both days.
Okay. All right, cool. And so let's get into some of these news and notes, because I think it's getting interesting. As expected, Rosengarten has earned snaps with the first team offense. We saw McCary getting all of the first team reps thus far, but most expected Roger, at least hoped Roger would eventually take over. It looks like that time has come. Is this about what you expected, Jimbo?
Yeah, I think so. I think that, I think this is what I expected. This is really what I hoped for. And it's no knock on McCary, but we know that John said it, McCary's best attribute is his versatility. We need to maintain that, right? And then on top of that, Rosengarten just has a higher ceiling. So you want your guy with a higher ceiling out there. I do have some concerns still, and I want to see it proven out in preseason with his ability to use adequate strength to anchor for some of these guys coming off the edge, just screaming off the edge. Certainly based on who he's going to be playing up against this year. Not that it's an easy task for McCary or anybody else to deal with Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, who's Hendrickson, and then they got the other dude over there. I forgot his name, number 94, the one that ran it back.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm talking about the Bengals guy. So certainly, a lot of games they're going to be playing against some stalwarts out there. So, but the athleticism and the size, the length is there. And so I want him out there. I think this is kind of what you and I both expected. But I still am on, like, I still need to see it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we know what McCary can do. He can be a middle-of-the-road guy.
Right. He's not the worst
No.
right tackle, that's for sure. He'll be, like you said, 15 or 16th in the league.
Yeah. And
which
so
is not
look,
an error. That's not going to kill you.
Right. That's not a knock on McCary. Exactly.
No,
That's a guy that you can, he's reliable.
But
right? Like,
did you notice when John said that it was his greatest attribute, but it was also the biggest thorn in his side? Like, I don't know how I would feel about that if I'm McCary, because it's like, great, I have positional versatility. I'm sure that makes him more valuable, certainly for a long-term career path. But it's got to be a source of frustration too, because who knows if he was given the full reins as a starter, could he earn a bigger paycheck? Like, yeah, maybe his longevity and that's attractive to keep him around, but it's kind of like a double-edged sword there for Patrick McCary. Kind of feel bad for the guy in a way, but
yeah, I think ultimately, if you're McCary, you have to remember that that's why you got paid.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I know it's tough because you want to be out there, you want to be kind of locked in the position, but look, if McCary was just a right tackle, would he have gotten that check? I don't know. Would he, if he was just a center, would he have gotten the check? He's got the check because he's decent to better than average at everything.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So I think that's the mindset he's just got to remember. You know what I thought was funny from John's presser yesterday, and I don't think he meant it at all as a knock towards Bateman, but they talked about the chemistry between Lamar and Zay, and he was just kind of like, oh, it was just kind of immediate. Usually that's what happens with really good players. And immediately my mind went to Rashad. I
wonder if his brain said, uh-oh, right away.
Yeah, because I feel like he started to like qualify that comment a little bit right after that.
Yeah.
But that's immediately where mine went.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's the worry. That's the worry when you speak in front of a microphone.
And you're just speaking honestly, right? Like,
yeah. Oh, come on, O's. Oh,
what's going on?
They're down 4-1 early.
Speaking of which, my son's new obsession is baseball. We're going to an Orioles game.
I love that, dude.
I'm excited for it, but like, dude, it's insane. All he wants to watch is Sandlot, or they apparently have some like Air Bud that's like a baseball version of Air Bud.
Okay.
It's like ridiculously cheesy.
Yeah.
But it's Sandlot all day, every day. If he gets any television time, baseball, Sandlot, baseball, Sandlot. I'm like, okay. And all we do is play catch. It's all we do. Hey, it's just out of this world, man. From the time he wakes up, Dad, let's play catch.
When he gets old enough, I'll coach him, dude.
All right.
Join the lug nuts, dude. The lug nuts. Yeah, man. That's cool. But yeah, they're struggling right now. Oh my gosh, as I look up and this guy hits it hard. All right, but also on the offensive line, right one position over. No surprise, but man, it's just like, here we go again. Ben Cleveland leaves practice early.
Yep.
Coach caught himself before saying the word concussion, but called a head injury and said he's going to be evaluated. Like, he was about to say concussion protocol, and he bit his tongue and said evaluated. With Faalele already getting all the first team reps, and Ben Cleveland now having to leave practice due to a head injury that we've seen him have to deal with this before, and with kind of uncertain timetables. Sometimes it's kept him out longer. Other times he's bounced back quickly. Are you nearly ready to pencil this in as Faalele's job?
Yeah. I mean, that was it.
That's it?
Yeah, that was it. I mean, it's over. Right? Because requirement number one is stay healthy.
Yeah.
No, if you're not outplaying the guy in front of you, you at least got to not hope, but you got to be more available than the guy in front of you if you want to win the competition.
It's pretty hard to impress the coaches to gain their trust when you're not playing.
Right. And so if you are not overwhelmingly dominating the position, your competition, that being Faalele, and then you're also missing, this is Faalele's job.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy because nobody, honestly, Jimbo, other than you, was saying that there was any chance he was going to be a right guard starting this year.
Yeah. Well, Jimbo does it again.
Jimbo hits it out of the park once again, as usual. But yeah, man, Ben Cleveland, dang, man. Big as a house, bruh. He can't stay on the field. It's absolutely insane.
Wild, man.
But
and you feel for the kid, right? Like, you want him to stay healthy and excel and things like that. But I'm just overwhelmingly excited for the potential of Faalele growing into, figuratively, he doesn't need to grow anymore, but an excellent guard in the NFL.
Right. And he very well could, but you can't do it when you're in the training room.
Yep.
Also, most physical day of camp yesterday took place, on top of it being hot as hell out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like what I'm seeing is that Derrick Henry's we got to see, because look, Derrick Henry's only going to make his impact, not only, but mainly going to make his impact once the pads come on, right? He's not going to shock you when you're in shells, because a lot of what he does is going through arm tackles and through people's torsos. So the fact that the physicality turned up, no surprise that he was absolutely carrying dudes. I think Marlon Humphrey tweeted that he went for a ride on the Derrick Henry Express when he took him for a few steps there when he was trying to tackle him. I just can't. It's hard for me to still believe that he's on this team, Jimbo, and he's about to be running right next to Lamar Jackson. It's crazy, bro.
It's insane. It's still, you're absolutely right. That's a great way to put it, because it's like weird to think about the idea that we're gonna see Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson hands off to Derrick Henry. Like, wait a second, are we playing Madden?
Right.
This
ain't real.
It's just wild stuff. This is New York Yankees lineup type stuff. Like back in the day, remember you played like against the Yankees in a baseball video game, and it was like, okay, I'm just pitched against 4 Hall of Famers in a row.
Yep.
Like, what's happening here? You know what I mean? I think it's that type of powerful. So I'm excited, man. And everyone keeps talking about his impact, his mentality, his commitment, whether that's to his body, to the game. But also, one of the things I really like about Derrick, and I'm not going to give all this credit to Alabama, but certainly guys that go to Alabama are generally like this. He's a team first guy.
Yeah.
Like he just is. Like, and I think a lot of Alabama guys are that way. I think that
you better be, or you ain't gonna play with Nick Saban.
Right. I was gonna say Nick Saban is good at sussing that one out, right?
Yes.
Like if you're a me guy, we don't really want you around. Yeah. So shout out to Derrick Henry, man. I'm getting excited thinking about it, man. Now we're not gonna see any of these guys in preseason, of course, but week 1, I'm really looking forward to it. Just smashing the Kansas City Chiefs with his face mask over and over again.
No doubt. I think Manny has a good question here. Prediction on how many undrafted free agents make the 53 and who is it going to be? Look, I think any more than one as a prediction is pretty tough, because I'm looking at the list right now, Jimbo, and just finding one isn't a slam dunk. Like we have our guys on here, guys we're certainly rooting for like crazy. But I have it sorted here by just rookies. I want to throw this on the screen here, and you can give me who you think is your prediction. Now, it's sorted by rookies, not undrafted rookies, so there's going to be plenty of names up there that are draft picks and aren't going anywhere. But as far as undrafted guys, I'm not just saying this, Jimbo, okay, because he's been on our show, and he's a heck of a nice guy. But every day I see Dayton Wade is making more and more plays. Every single day I get an alert saying that this guy is catching touchdowns. He's doing whatever it takes. And so when I look at this list, I'm going, I think it's Dayton Wade, bro. Like I'm obviously rooting for Kadri's son, Kadir, as he changes to tight end. But who's your leader in the clubhouse here?
Yeah, it's hard for me to disagree with you, Glenn. And it's crazy because the position is so deep.
Right.
But I think we can. If I remember when we went through it, there was one maybe, right? Like there was one.
Tylen, I think, is our maybe, which is crazy.
Oh, that's tough.
It's a tough one, man. There's no easy route for any of these rookies. Not that I see.
But ultimately, we talk about this all the time, and he's the perfect example. We're gonna see what happens in preseason, and if he continues to show out and play well, look, he's going to have a great opportunity. We talk about Michael Pierce, and, practice is great, but you put it on film.
That's right.
Really, really is about 100 times more valuable than practice.
Yeah, this is it's a tough list, man. Like it's going to be a uphill climb for any of these guys. I know Darian Dalcourt out of Alabama, another big expectations, considering he's an undrafted guy, but I would say it's one, to answer your question, Manny, and to me it's between Dayton Wade and Darian Dalcourt is my two.
That's fair.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
Manny has another question here, though. He says,
and really quickly though, Darian, because of there's not
guard,
not a ton of depth there.
Yeah, like I'm just looking at like likelihood of, and he played at Alabama, so it's not like he's
Yeah.
a small school guy. He's been at the top of the mountain as far as playing the best of the best. So
Yeah. It
I just
seems
look
to be in his past, it was really about health, not about
Yeah,
talent.
exactly. So that
That's a good
and that's
point.
the main reason from him. Not that I've heard anything thus far in camp, but Manny also says, what was that about an offensive play involving Falele that media was sworn not to talk about? Some trickery coming this year with our O-line. Yeah, we're going to have to find out the details of that once we have somebody on. But the question is, can we get them to talk? Because, yeah, I would love to know. Now, look, we've seen Falele back in college carry the ball and with success get touchdowns, like catch balls out of the backfield as an extra lineman and sneak out as the eligible receiver. Do you smell a little bit of fanciness here with Falele being the centerpiece here, Jimbo?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be some trickery there. I also think there's going to be some stuff with Derrick Henry. We talked about him throwing the ball. I think Monken will have some fun with it. Look, could you imagine? I mean, Patrick Ricard's enough, but could you imagine Falele as your lead blocker in the goal line? On the goal line, I mean, and then Derrick Henry's behind him.
Yeah.
Like if you're 8 yards out and it's first down, Derrick Henry or Patrick Ricard, but why would you even? It doesn't even matter what defense they play. Why would you not do anything else but give him the ball?
It's a head scratch. It would be, yeah. I think that's what Ravens fans are going to be saying in September when on those events that they don't give them the ball.
I hope you're wrong. I hope that they don't occur, Glenn.
Yeah. Yeah, he could be. I don't know. I think they got to have that. It's just like beast mode when they didn't give him the ball, man. They have to always try and outsmart themselves, these coaches. Let's hope that's not the case. But, yeah, maybe some trickery's coming, Manny. Keep an eye out, and we'll certainly ask the people who've been at practice and see what we can find out. Craig says Lamar is number 2 on the top 100 list behind Tyreek Hill. I saw Pat Mahomes ended up at 4, and I can't remember who was at 3. But hey, look, Tyreek Hill was on pace to break all the wide receiver records before he rolled his ankle in like week 15. Toughed it out, played anyway, but obviously wasn't himself. But I'm glad Lamar got the if he was anywhere outside the top 3, it would be disrespectful. He's the NFL MVP, put on a crazy show. But yeah, pretty excited about that. Number 2 is not bad, Jimbo.
No, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than what was the list we were talking about the other day? I mean, that was like a week or 2 ago where he was 18th.
So silly, dude.
Isn't that what it was?
They had a clutch player list, Jimbo. Daniel Jones was rated above him. Like, what the fuck are you guys? But also, Madden seems to have gotten it right. I did see the Madden quarterback rankings, at least for quarterback. I did see where they had Kyle Hamilton, which was just disgusting. He had like 10 safeties above him. But for Madden quarterback rating, 99 was Pat Mahomes, but right behind him, 98, Lamar Jackson. And then I think the next jump was like 95 was the third rated quarterback. So at least he's getting the respect he's deserving of and as earned in the Madden. But appreciate Craig. Appreciate you keeping us up to date, as well as you, Manny. Appreciate you guys and your generosity. But also wanted to get back to some of these other notes here. Malik Harrison getting a lot of love in the press conferences, not only for his versatility. I mean, John called him the Pat Ricard of the defense, saying he can play inside linebacker, both outside linebacker spots. He plays D-end in their sub package. The guy was absolutely a Swiss Army knife, but also he had an interception, which was, a crazy athletic inception that was off of Josh Johnson. And let's see what else he had. He also had a tip ball. He had a fumble recovery. I mean, the guy has been absolutely everywhere. Are we kind of overlooking, because when we talk about Malik Ham going down, we're like, they need to bring somebody in. Are we kind of overlooking Malik Harrison a little bit?
I think we are. And I don't think we normally do this on this show. I think we're pretty accurate. Whether that's us hyping a guy up or, kind of setting expectations. But I think we've at least I can only speak for myself, Glenn. I think we've kind of fallen victim to not talking about Malik Harrison enough. Right. And like when John was speaking about all the ways that he's going to use Malik Harrison, I was like, crap, he's right.
Yeah.
I was not thinking about this. You know what I mean? So yeah, I agree. I mean, I'll be interested to see how much his pass rush ability improves, because he is a massive dude.
Mm-hmm.
So if he can just learn some moves on the outside to make him reasonably effective with all the other things he can do, I mean, he's going to have a long career and an effective one. So yeah, I think we are kind of underestimating the impact that he'll have. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we kind of fall in love with the pass rushers, and we want them to get to the quarterback, and we forget how many other football plays there are other than just pass rush. And I think of guys like Jarrett Johnson that were here for all those years and was one of the most popular players. And it wasn't for his pass rush ability; it was for his ability to set the edge, force the guys back inside where he had help, and just the run stuffing. Like this guy, you couldn't get by him. This guy is such a bonus, knowing that if something were to happen to Roquan or Trenton Simpson, boom, Harrison can slide in and replace him. Something were happen to one of your edge guys, either side, whether it's Van Noy, Owe, any of the, boom, you got a replacement for him. Even when you want to go smaller to the dime and bring a lighter weight guy and put him as your DN, you got a guy. You could even kick him inside if you wanted to and put him over a guard in one of those like quarter defense. This guy can be anywhere. So yeah, I mean, shout out to that guy for making himself into a valuable chess piece on the defensive side of the ball. And shame on us for overlooking a guy who may not have the pass rush, flashiness, but does every single other thing well. And we got to kind of give that guy a little bit of a shine of light there.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. And shout out to him as well for having the what's the word? The frame of mind to realize where he was at in his career, because he kind of hit a flexion point. Mm-hmm. He's like, I can take.
He got shot and everything.
Oh, I forgot about that.
He got shot his rookie year,
in his leg, right?
Yeah, he got shot in the daggone leg.
But if you remember, he kind of hit this flexion point in his career where it was like, well, he's not going to be our 1B inside linebacker,
right? And
the league's kind of changed around him. So how can he use his skills to adapt to where he's turned himself into a more valuable player today on a much larger scale, of course. And people could argue this because he won a playoff game, but like, look at the difference between Tim Tebow's career and like oh my gosh, Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
Right. Like Taysom had the wherewithal to be like, well, I'm not going to be a starting quarterback. I'm just not. Yeah. So I need to make myself valuable. I think that was just the frame of mind that he had and just wanted to play football. And I think it was the same for Malik Harrison on a much smaller scale, but shout out to him, dude. I mean, he lengthened his career by a good bit, and I hope he's continuing to round out those other skills to maintain his value here on the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty cool to see those guys getting shout outs. And then Justice Hill also, coach called him a starting caliber running back in this league, raved about what he saw from him last season. And that's another guy that has gotten so much better every single year. It's crazy. We were really, really not Justice Hill guys. I was not a Justice Hill guy after his rookie year. This guy averaged less than 4 yards a carry on the greatest rushing team in history. I was like, no, you can't do that. I'm averaging 4 yards a carry on this team. It's ridiculous. But man, was I wrong about him. He bounces back from the injury and just transforms himself into a totally different player. Mm-hmm. So let's see what Justice Hill can do with a much, much bigger role. There's no log jam ahead of them like we've seen in years past with all the running backs, the stable of guys we've had. It's just Derrick Henry and then you, buddy. That's it.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. But I think it is funny that, and we've talked about it, we've given him his respect, right? Like we were not Justice guys, and he came back out of that injury with a vengeance, looked bigger, looked stronger, looked faster. And he's quickly turning into, just like Malik Harrison, like a very valuable piece on this team. Every day is more and more valuable because he's super versatile too. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not only is our, John, just like you said, sees him as a rotational guy, not a number two. It's just about a package, right? Like what plays we put in there, we put one or the other out there. But the special teams, the ability to catch the football, and then he's improving his blocking greatly. So. Yeah, man, this is the fun part for me about the Baltimore Ravens. If you are a Baltimore Ravens fan, you have to enjoy, you don't have to, but one of the things you should learn to enjoy is player development. The Ravens develop players. I don't care if I say, you can say I'm biased. The Ravens develop players better than any team in the league. If you're a developmental player, come here because you got time after time, story after story of guys that take off in the last year of their rookie contract, guys that take off in that third, fourth year later on, and they continue to get better every year. We're talking about Justice Hill, Malik Harrison, but there's other guys that have gone on to other teams, get paid, and we see guys continue to improve. The player development, they talked about Armour Davis today.
Mm-hmm.
And the type of camp that he's having. We weren't high. No, I certainly was not high on him the first time I saw him out there. I was like, oh gosh, this guy looks like he's missing an entire gear that he needs just to play in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that people are talking so highly about him, it's exciting stuff, man.
Yeah, I think that somebody, let's see, Tank brought up a good point. The only issues we've really seen recently, and that's not even been that recent, was the issues at the mesh point between Justice Hill and Lamar Jackson. But they've cleaned that up. So that's not even an issue between those two guys now. Let me see here. Manny's, I'm not sure I've seen this. Manny says, you see Ravens fan roasting PQ today in red zone coverage. I haven't seen that. I wish I had. I'm down. Yeah. I'm for it. But I missed it. I was working today, so maybe it slipped past me. But I'm sorry I didn't see it, man. But I'm all for anybody going at PQ because that dude wanted all the smoke. He asked for it. He's a dude with his fake toughness. I don't.
Was he in on the brawl?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was in on the brawl. I did see reports that he was heavily involved. Apparently, got cleaned out by some offensive lineman or something.
Oh my gosh,
this dude, this dude's crazy, bro. He said, "I'm gonna take on the world, bro." I don't think he's ready for it, but I will say. I think it's an interesting question Adam78 brings up in the chat. You're right. Jalen Armour-Davis was getting a lot of talk and a lot of hype from the coach, but also so was Ardarius Washington praising his ability to play both safety and slot corner. It could come down to one of those guys, but not both. Jimbo, who do you look at right now as the leader in the clubhouse or a guy you're hoping wins the job?
You know who my guy is, Glenn.
That's true.
Ardarius Washington, dude. Yeah. But really,
do you think we need
the
more
ball skills?
Okay, he does have crazy balls.
It's the ball skills. Like outside of my soft spot for Ardarius Washington, he's just like you said, he's got really, really good ball skills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but do you look at it as more valuable to have a guy who can play inside and safety or an outside corner as your depth pieces?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good point, right? And you have to consider it, but. I think with the three guys that we have and the ability to move them around, like I guess Wiggins is just an outside guy, but and obviously Marlon's played a lot of inside, but so is Brandon. He's done some stuff on the inside. So I think you're okay taking a guy that I think you're okay doubling down on the versatility is what I'm saying, because you can move enough chess pieces around. Like you take just the better football player because you got enough underlying versatility outside of just Ardarius to absorb a hit or two. Now, obviously, I don't want any of that to happen, right? But that's kind of how it could
come down to that. It could come down to the coach doesn't have to make the call because, let's be honest, both these guys have had issues staying on the field, and it could come down to whichever one stays healthy or makes the team. So I'll be rooting for both those guys. Stay healthy, make the decision as tough as possible for these coaches in the front office. That is your job as a player. Make this a challenge. I also wanted to point out. Andrew Vorhees was speaking to the media. He said something kind of interesting. He talked about his whole first year, his red shirt first year, and how he was forced to miss all of it and only able to participate in meetings and stuff like that. He called it an opportunity. He said it was a privilege. He said that he was able to build a strong foundation, a foundation made out of stone using that first red shirt year. And said it was a real opportunity for him. Do you like the way do you think this is just a way that guys use it to kind of, look at the glasses half full? Or do you really believe that he did have, because he said it's a privilege. He said it was like, he said he was fortunate to be able to do that. Whereas a lot of guys don't have that red shirt year. Are you buying into this, or is just him kind of sugarcoating it to himself?
No, I think it's really just about the mindset, because I think there can be some advantages to getting some real time off and just, I mean, even though he was, rehabbing, but he didn't go straight into, voluntary stuff. He didn't go straight into mini camp, didn't go then straight into to training camp and things like that. Outside of the break that you have in between those two, he got some real time to work on his body, work on his craft, work on his mental. And I think it's great to look at it that way. I think it would take me a while to come around to that.
Yeah, I'm not mature enough for that.
You know what I'm saying? I think it would just take a minute. He's had months to sit on it. He probably didn't feel that way at the beginning, but you kind of in the process and you're like, you know what? There's
I'm
a
still a
lot of good
Raven,
I can
right?
get out of this. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Good for that guy because, man, is he turning heads? Has he got guys excited on both sides of the ball? Now, I will say this. He did run into a guy on the opposite him that the guys are real excited about too, have some high expectations, and that's Travis Jones. I mean, Coach was almost having to stop himself from making some insane predictions. Like, you can just tell like, he is really expecting big things. Said anyone who blocks him, he's shocked to see anyone can block Travis Jones. Like, it takes him back when he sees him. So are you buying into these high expectations, or are you in wait and see mode on Travis Jones?
No, I'm buying in. I'm because I think we saw enough flashes last year. We just saw moments where he just looked dominant. And so this year, what I'm expecting is consistency. So I'm in. I'm all in. And shout out to DK for kind of when he drafted. I remember I think we were on the phone or maybe we were on the show. I can't remember. But we were talking to DK. We were probably getting ready for a show, and he was really, really high on this pick. And I think we were as well.
I think we were live.
Were
we?
We
Were we live? No, that was the third round. We weren't live for the third round.
Yeah, I can't remember. But either way, like, I feel like DK was the most enthusiastic and was trying to, like, while we were hyped, he was really trying to really sell us on this kid. And look, he's been everything advertised and more. So yeah, I'm super excited to see what Travis does this year. I think that's an underrated part of this defense in its ability to get to the quarterback, because all three of those guys have shown the ability to do so. Between Broderick, obviously Michael Pierce, for a guy his size, is probably the best in the league at generating a pass rush. And then Travis Jones. I mean, interior pass rush is crazy valuable. You team all those guys up with Matt BK all on the inside, and that is just a mess to deal with every single snap.
Yep.
Like, golly day. So yeah, no, I'm excited about that, man.
Yeah, this is going to be a good year for us, man. I got a lot of high hopes. I just hope the injury bug doesn't bite us, because as of right now, there's so many guys that I could say that could be a breakout player. This guy could be your breakout player. It just seems like it's just a crazy long list. But also wanted to give a little bit of love to Kyle Hamilton. Apparently a real standout, specifically in one-on-one portions of practice. They were talking about, it's funny, you go from where he was in his one-on-ones when that first stadium practice where fans were ready to run him out of town when they saw him get beat by some no-name undrafted rookie free agent wide receiver. But today, it's either today or yesterday in one-on-ones, he didn't look a mess, that's for sure. He lined up initially against Isaiah Likely, ends up winning the route where Likely, they're hand fighting, Likely loses his footing, falls down, the ball's not even thrown. That's how much he dominated him. Then they come out again, matched up on Likely. The ball was thrown this time, but ultimately still fell incomplete. He was all over Mark Andrews for a lot of the day as well for one-on-ones. Just, I love to see it. They're challenging him with our best guys, our biggest and best pass catchers. And, look, those are good players, and I'm sure they win their fair share, but Kyle Hamilton was the star of one-on-ones for day 10. That's for sure.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, it's crazy that, overreaction is a thing, and certainly we might have overreacted way early on, right? When he got cooked by that guy. I mean, we saw front and center.
It didn't look good. We were right.
No.
Yeah.
And then even early on when we got on the field, he kind of got exposed a few times in the end zone and things like that. But look, all you do is you take your licks and you can learn from them, or you can let them defeat you, right? So this kid is really taken off as a player. I don't even know what to expect from Kyle Hamilton this year, like more than last year. You know what I'm saying?
I know. How much better? I mean,
like what? I mean, I guess maybe he can. I don't know. Maybe he can improve his ball skills. But the thing is that I don't think he's in situations where, like, he doesn't play the Marcus Williams role.
Yeah, and I never saw him drop a pick ever.
Right. It's just that he does not in those scenarios a lot, because he plays a lot up on the line and does all these other things, and he's such an incredible tackler.
Right.
I don't know. I
wouldn't mind seeing him be more involved as a blitzer. I know we saw it in spurts last year. We had 3 sacks in one game, but I want to see him more involved more often as a blitzer. He's so talented as a pass rusher. Shout
out to Jason Lockenfora, who thought that was in season last year, thought that was a bad pick by Eric DaCosta, and said he's not an impactful player. Shout out.
Dude's crazy,
my man, Lockenfora. Another good one.
That dude. I've never met someone who hates his hometown teams more. It's crazy. The Orioles can't do nothing right. The Ravens, anyway. I don't know why anybody listens to that goofball anyway, but I do see his Twitter. It's just like, holy smokes.
Yeah. Did you put this one up? Did we put this? Shout out to Victoria for becoming a new member of the YouTube channel. Thank you so much.
Nice.
Yeah, I hopefully you enjoy the sneak peek behind the views, or behind the what's the word? Behind the scenes.
Yes.
Behind the scenes type material. And of course that'll be continuing to come out. I know that Brad, guys, just so you know, Brad and DK just put out their first video, and it's a doozy.
That's right.
You know, I had a lot of fun with it, and I think they'll continue. I mean, I know they'll continue to do that. I know they're excited about it. So we've got a lot of stuff going on with our memberships. Go ahead and check it out. We appreciate all your support. So yeah, thank you. I guess her husband is Don C.
No way, the legend. Wow, we got to meet your wife. What an honor. Appreciate you joining us, Victoria. Yes, Don C he's the GOAT. He's the legend. No doubt about it.
Absolutely.
I did want to give a little bit of a brief mention to Sanusi Kane, because I've kept hearing his name being mentioned a lot, making plays in another crowded room. We talked about how crowded it is in the wide receiver room. Well, safety room is extremely crowded as well. He's been batting balls down. The guy, it's like one of those things that coach was expecting to see a different level when the pads came on for a guy like Sanusi Kane, who's just big and tough and strong. So it may not jump off the page at you when you're in shells running around tackling air. But when all of a sudden when the pads come on, it's like, who the heck is that guy? And that's football, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
When the pads come on, if that's when you come to life, then that just tells me when the games are live that you're going to come even more to life. So I can't wait to see what Sanusi Kane is going to do. August 9th, guys. What's today? We're talking a week.
7 days?
A week, Jimbo? Woo!
Holy crap, that's insane. It's so interesting. To your point, though, Glenn, it's so interesting that to this day, people still, and not people, like GMs, front offices, they still get fooled by the stuff that is not involving real football.
The Underwear Olympics. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's a wild thing to me to watch, because I feel like, yeah, there's some cool things to see, and it's amazing, but they're footnotes. At the end of the day, they're not supporting arguments. They're just footnotes. So yeah, no, that's a great point. I mean, same thing with Dayton Wade. That's probably one of the reasons, because it's measurables, and it was, he's not the smallest guy ever, but he's a smaller guy. And then he didn't run crazy fast. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure that just immediately docked him, took him off the board for a lot of people. The Ravens are happy to scoop that value up, right? Take him, put him, give him and now look at him. He's competing for an opportunity to make this team. And a lot of people, I'm sure outside of just us, are thinking that he's the front runner as well, as far as undrafted rookies go. So it's still crazy to me, man, that's a thing. Like, just watch the tape.
And I think the good teams do. The good teams do. And the bad teams, that's probably why they're the bad teams, because they keep trying to find the biggest, fastest guy, not the best football players. And they're going to learn the hard way. But I tell you, I am excited about somebody asked in the chat about Hard Knocks coming up. I'm excited to see the in-season stuff. I don't know when they're going to release the in-season stuff about the AFC North. I know they already released the off-season with the Giants, and then it comes to training camp, follows who's training camp following? Is it the Bears? I think it's the Bears training camp. And then it goes to the AFC North for the season. So I don't know how they're going to release it. Does it start getting released week 4, week 6, or do we have to wait the whole season? But nonetheless, I'm excited to see it. I want to see behind the scenes on all these guys, all the ops. I'm getting to go into the ops.
There you go.
And I want to see, because they're going to paint them this grid picture, but I'm going to look I'm going to try and see if I can see any behind the curtain shots to see, look, the Bengals got this fancy ass locker room. I remember when these Bengals were the brokest team in the league, and I'm not so sure this isn't smoke and mirrors here, Jimbo. I don't know. I don't know what the Bengals are up to, but they got some nice new facilities. It's starting to piss me off. But
wait, didn't Joe Burrow get a refrigerator?
Did he?
In
his locker?
Something like that. Like it's within his locker room. It's in the locker room.
They got a whole new locker room. It does.
Yeah, I think nice. Joe Burrow got a refrigerator.
I mean, what would he put in his refrigerator? Hair dye?
That's what I was going to
got the real Slim Shady look now.
No, he looks like Kevin. He looks like Kevin McAllister.
I tell you what, I don't know why he shaved his hair. I thought it was a source of some swag, dude.
I don't know. What's his name? Macaulay Culkin? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean, now that the hair's blonde, he's full on Macaulay Culkin, right? Like,
is that what he is?
Yeah.
Well, we're I can't wait to see that guy this year. Can't wait.
Yeah, man. Neither can I. I'm looking forward to it.
Let me see. Do you have any other news?
No,
and notes
man.
here,
No, I'm just like I said, we're in the dog days of it, and I'm really excited to see kind of what the result of this is on the other side. A week from today is preseason game 1. I think what we'll do next week to help prep you guys for that is, we've kind of been doing this the whole time. We'll give you reminders of names, guys to look out. We'll, identify some bubble guys. A lot of guys out there playing will be bubble guys.
Yeah.
But some guys to look out for. Obviously, we've been talking a lot about Dayton Wade and a few others, but we'll name some others in addition to that.
Hey, Jimbo.
Yeah.
I got to put this up real quick. Can I show you something real quick?
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done this late, but I got to get your opinion on this because
oh gosh,
it was, they asked the First Take guys about the Madden rankings coming out because that's right. It was 99 Mahomes, 98 Lamar, 95 Joe Burrow. So
is this real inflammatory? It's about to make me mad.
I shouldn't have saved it for this long. But honestly, Jimbo, I heard it a little bit earlier, but I can't even hear it when I share the screen. So you're going to have to react and tell me just how bad.
Oh, I can't hear it either. Can you click the
yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, let me.
I'm going to it was too big for them.
Stephen A., we have 30 seconds, top of the hour. Game on the line and the teams behind. Who are you trusting, Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow?
I'm going to go
Joe Burrow because he can throw the football better. All right, let's go to break.
Because he can throw the football.
It was too big for them.
Stephen A., we have
you hear that, Jimbo?
I'm dead.
The guy who led the league in touchdown passes, he still can't throw. 2-time MVP, still can't throw, dude.
Dude, I'm so dead right now because this is so ridiculous. And this is if you actually take the questions seriously. You have no idea what your offensive line looks like. You have no idea what your wide receivers like. The only success Joe Burrow has had in the league is with one bona fide top 3, 4, 5 wide receiver, and then another guy who's a number 1 on any other team except those 3, 4, 5 teams.
And then their third might be the best third when he first entered the league. In Tyler Boyd.
All right. Yeah. Is he still there?
No, but he was.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. All the success he's had has been under him. So this is just crazy to me because if your offensive line is in shambles, it doesn't matter. Lamar Jackson will get the job done. If he had no one to throw the ball to, it doesn't matter. Lamar was the MVP when he had no one but a bag of shells and Mark Andrews to throw the ball to. What are we talking about here, guys? A yard is a yard. It doesn't matter how you get it. Yeah. This is ridiculous. This is just crazy to me. Whatever. Keep it coming, dude. I'm telling you, they're just setting it up.
I just don't get why they choose Lamar to be their pivot point for controversy. Like why is clicks, he always the one? But why can't they get the clicks on someone else's name? Why is it got to be on him every time?
It's because he's one of one. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's impossible to compare anyone to Lamar. Actually, let me give you the last thing. This is kind of a goofy thing for real, but how much did the NFL pay that judge to throw that out, dude?
I know.
Dude. What the heck? It went from $4.5 billion to nothing. Nothing.
Unbelievable, dude.
Wild.
But honestly, I don't know if it's even because the NFL would have just jacked the price up and got their money back one way or another.
For sure. But so it's
not
just
like we would have won.
Right. It's just crazy to me to think that, like, what happened here? What really happened here? Like, I would love to know.
Look, there's a lot of things going on in this country that the NFL is glad that is a nice distraction. And no one's looking. Don't look at us. Don't look at what we got going on over here. Look at all that nuttiness going on over there.
Absolutely.
It's good timing for them.
No, yes, it is. But I think that's it for Joe Burrow is Brock Purdy.
I mean, look, when his weapons are hurt, look at the games.
Yeah.
When Joe Burrow doesn't have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Just look at him. Look at the numbers.
Yeah.
You know? Or just look when he plays the Ravens and Lamar's facing off against them.
Yeah, what is he? He's
like we've never lost. It's like if Lamar plays the whole game, it's like, come on.
Yeah. That's just all this is just wild to me. But Stephen A. Smith doesn't even know football to this point, to this day. He knows basketball.
He does, but he's asked to cover too many things and just there's not enough time.
Yeah.
So he just says the cliche BS.
Like low key, this could be crazy. Skip knows more football than Steven. Hey.
Oh, by the way, Skip, last day of
I didn't watch it.
It was today. That's it.
Wait, will the show Undisputed continue on?
Apparently, they're trying to get Nick. They're trying to make Nick Wright the new face of Fox, and I'm hearing rumblings about Max Kellerman maybe being brought in as a co-host.
I really like Max.
I'm a Max guy.
I am too. I don't think Max is going to go over to Fox for political reasons, though.
Right, that's true.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, Max used to be on CNN.
I think he did. That's where he started.
I don't. You know, as you know, having his political views that he does, I seriously doubt he goes to Fox unless the money is just berserk.
But is that okay? Yeah, I guess that is fine. It just doesn't. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's weird that like those things because you don't like put them together.
No, but
when you're in the meeting with the same guy who's with the big boss,
but that is a lot of rumblings about his name on X. So
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see what Skip has in the future. I'm sure we'll all be watching. We'll all tune in.
Yeah, it's going to be straight on. I think it's going to be just here on YouTube, his own thing.
Oh, hold on. Did we miss this today? I didn't want to. Did we miss this?
Oh, we did. Why? Sorry, Don C. Why was Ronnie? I'm hurt all the time. Stanley, high point and balls with defenders.
Oh, I know.
What are we doing if he gets hurt? Yeah, that is insanity.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad he's healthy, but come on, bro. Don't be putting yourself at risk.
And save some for the season, Ronnie.
Yeah, man. He talks about he's the healthiest he's ever been. All right, well, let's not risk that.
Yeah, let's definitely not do that.
High point and balls. I love that, though. Hey, he's an athlete. Instincts just kicked in. Asmodeus says for your protein powder needs. I tried to get Sarah to respond about the race. Neither her nor... Of course they didn't.
Wait, what did you say to them?
Huh?
Well, I wonder what he said to them on that. Like,
he was probably like, Jimmy's talking match.
Honestly, it's not. It's like crap talk. I could talk junk. Like I could. It's really just
You're just laying out facts.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I don't need to like.
Which comes off as more. It's just worse crap talk.
Really?
It's because they don't know you. They don't know how much you take this seriously. Like you run. Like people don't really realize like you run.
Yeah, it's okay. That's fine. But yeah, it's not even an offensive thing. I get it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anyway.
Look, if I tried to race Jimmy, it would be just as bad. It would not be good for me. I'd be right there with Sarah and Bobby. We would get destroyed. All three of us. All right.
I'd still put my money on you, Glenn, up to 3.
Oh, come on. I'm not gonna let them beat me.
That's right, just pure pride, dude.
I might die when I cross the finish line. But I'm crossing that finish line first.
That's right, dude. Anyway, that's hilarious. Well, Asmodeus, if you get anything back from him, let him know. But it would be for a good cause. We'd have to wager down for some charity.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, and we would definitely bring cameras.
Yes.
I need proof.
Yes. Lots and lots of proof. Absolutely. All right, dude, I got to tell you this really quickly. This is actually the last thing. I think that the folks will like to hear this. So my brother was in town for a few weeks, and we went to the Franklin Institute, where they have a sports section, and they have like 2 lanes on the track, and you can race against like virtually different people. Like,
oh, that's dope.
Like that. It's real short, but it's cool.
Yeah.
It's maybe like 20 yards worth.
Oh, it's real short. Okay.
Really short, maybe a little further, but it's mostly for kids. Anyway, Eric and I decided to do it, right?
Yeah.
And Eric's always been quick twitch. Like he'll get you from like 0 to 10 feet. Okay. You know what I mean? Like he's always been, dude, his ass beat me off the line. Dude. I was like, what the heck? I mean, look.
That's it. I'm taking Sarah and Bobby.
I mean, look, he won 5 feet of the race.
Oh, you did get by him.
But you understand what I mean? Like like the bam right off the line. I was like, son of a gun. Like, God.
I bet you weren't expecting that.
No, I was not.
Shout out to Eric, dude. It's still got it.
Dude. Yeah.
He's an athlete.
Yeah, man. Look, it is what it is. Number 1 in takedowns on his team, dude. It's the quickness, dude. It's the quicks, bro.
You know? All right, well, that's it for us tonight, guys. We will be back in the not too distant future.
Hold on.
Oh, what's up? Did I miss one?
Tank, stop it.
What'd Tank say, dude?
See, he said, haha, see, that's why I put my money on Sarah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
right.
Well, bring me the money, Tank, and I will double it.
Dude, Tank, you make one of those big checks. Those ridiculously large checks. Okay. Make it out to 410 Sports Talk. And trust me, you're not going to need to make it out to the vault. I'm telling you right now. Make it out. Put it in ink. 410 Sports Talk. Okay.
Man, I wonder if Sarah and Bobby are going to see this and just be like, what the heck?
Yeah, no. Hey, send them the clips. Bring it on. We want all the smoke.
Oh, for sure.
All right. All right. Well, that's it for us
Let's
tonight.
end this thing. It's going
We'll
off
be
the
back
rails.
in a few days. And until then, we'll see you later.
See you.